Good morning and happy Saturday. I hope that you're having a great start to the weekend. Weekends, of course, are always so fun. You kind of get to kick back, catch up with friends, do things that you may not normally be able to do during the week. So, hello. I have had a few requests about like my simple everyday makeup routine. So, I figured I'd come on here and share with you quickly how I get ready. So, please ignore the freshly washed clean hair. But this is real life. This is really how kind of things go. So I do always start the day and my nighttime skincare routine with a little bit of my eye cream. This eye cream has loads of great nutrients. It also has a caffeine and ginseng to really help peak up and perk up the under eye area. What I love about this eye cream is that I feel the tightening and the results within about 10-20 minutes of application, but then there's also long-term results with hyaluronic acid that's going to help really rejuvenate and kind of be like a fountain of youth for my skin. So I do always just put a little bit, I mean, pretty much the size of a piece of rice under each eye. And then I just kind of take my ring fingers. Ring fingers have the least amount of pressure out of all of your fingers. And I just kind of make sure I tap that in. I sometimes even bring it up above my eyes, as I do have slightly hooded eyes. So this will help kind of just like tighten and brighten. So if you do have crepiness, dryness, dark circles, all that kind of stuff that really, kind of makes you look super tired, you're going to want to make sure that you invest in the eye cream. And as I said, I like to use it morning and night. I am going to take just a wee little bit of my day cream because I do have a fresh, clean face from the shower. So just a little bit. Some people don't necessarily use day moisturizer depending upon what they put on their face, whether they put on a nourishing serum or a hydrating kind of BB cream. Sometimes that's enough for people. So you do you. I do also recommend that you put on sunscreen, some kind of SPF in your routine. I'm going to be putting on my SPF at the very end, so I just want to kind of give you that bit of a heads up. But if your skincare or your makeup has SPF in it, that is lovely as well. So just make sure you're taking care of that skin. But I wanted to give you a heads up why I was doing things in that order. All right, get this hair out of my face. I don't know about you, but freshly washed hair for me, it's just wild. It's wild sometimes. So I'll just kind of put this up in a half pony as I let it air dry. Now, the foundation that I'm going to be wearing today is my all-time favorite foundation. If you have been watching my Minute with Mary videos, you've probably seen me talk about or use my BB Flawless BB Cream. This is part of like my essentials when I recommend people to try something. It's because it is a lightly tinted, hydrating kind of foundation. If you're looking for a medium foundation with a more powder-like finish, you can grab this. It's my Liquid Touch foundation. This is retiring, so if it is something that you have used before and you want to refill, you're going to want to grab that up while you can. But I definitely recommend my BB Flawless BB Cream if you are someone who wants the no makeup look, who wants the flexibility of kind of being able to amp up coverage or have like a super low coverage kind of look. This is going to be your jam. So one of the reasons that I really love it is I can mix it with my concealer. So my concealer is a lot like my eye cream. It has a lot of those great skincare elements inside of it. So what I like to do first is put on a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes, particularly on these like very busy, just want to get ready and get out the door. My main issues of my concealer is right in here. That's where the kind of the purpleness, the darkness kind of comes through. You can see it right on there. So I just kind of put it there. I'm going to show you a quick little tip. I just very little dabs. I even scraped the product off on the container itself, and then I just take that ring finger again and just lightly pat and press. So one of the things when it comes to darkness under your eyes, about like 90% of people have darkness where I have darkness, really focusing kind of that inner corner area right there. But a lot of people you'll see will put concealer like all under here. And if you have the beginnings of, or if you have firmly established under eye lines, wrinkles, fine lines, crow's feet, that kind of situation, that more happens in this area. So for 90% of people, once again, I know that there's going to be exceptions to every rule, but most people don't necessarily have the discoloration around here. So you don't necessarily want to add the concealer in that whole area. Concealer at this point is meant to brighten and kind of like help kind of color correct there, and that's what I'm achieving. Now I do want to add a little bit more right there. So start off, less is more, and then just build up a little bit as you need it. So you you can see I'm just kind of going in the area where I've got that darkness, but I'm not necessarily bringing it all over here. So when I smile and I scrunch up my face, you can see a lot of that bunching and crunching and fine line making. It's happening in the area where I'm not necessarily adding the concealer. So I like to put my concealer on before I put on my BB cream. You can do it before or after, as they are both cream-based products. So once again, I'm just putting it right there in that inner corner. What I find is when I put my concealer on first and then I put on my foundation, it blends really beautifully and my concealer doesn't necessarily stand out. Now, if I was trying to highlight, if I was really trying to kind of do like a real contrast and have like a real hardcore brightness and really wanted it to be almost like, very, very light, then I may do it on top, but I'm just choosing to use a concealer that is close to my skin shade, as I am just really trying to brighten up the darkness under those eyes. Not trying to go full glam, not trying to do anything crazy like that, just trying to look like I got a little bit more sleep than I have. So that is where I've been putting concealer, once again, just to really combat the darkness in the area of that inner corner, really particularly in that inner tear duct area. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Glorious Touch primer. You can use a mattifying primer if you're someone who's a bit more on the oily side, a hydrating primer if you're more on the dry side, or if you just have normal skin, you can just use my Glorious Touch. Get about a pea-sized amount, that's all you need, and really apply it all over your face, your chin, your cheeks, your nose, your forehead. This is really going to create a really nice barrier for your makeup to sit on rather than it sitting on your bare face. If you want your makeup to last all day, if you don't want to necessarily have to worry about reapplying or looking like it's melting off throughout the day, you are going to want to get yourself a primer. I never used to use primer, and yet I used to spend all this money on makeup and wonder why it didn't look right, why it would settle in my pores and fine lines, why it would, kind of like just smudge off my face. A large portion of that was primer. So take the time to put your primer on. You do want to let it sit on your face for a couple of minutes so that it can kind of set into those fine lines and pores before you put the makeup on top. Because if you just go ahead and put the BB cream on top, it's really just going to mix and it's not going to be able to do its job. So what I do at this point is I like to do my eyes. I've been using just really simple liquid eyeshadows. It's super, super easy to use. You can use your fingers. You can use a blending brush. You kind of can't go wrong. Some of my favorite shades right now are this one right here, which is Reverent. It is a liquid eyeshadow. You can see I'm already kind of running a little low on it. I also have a couple of limited edition shades, so if you're watching this video at a later date, apologies, they may not be available right now, but this one right here is called Glassy. It's not as white as you see it in the jar, and then another one that I've been loving is this gray shade called Misty. So I'm actually going to go for Glassy right now. I'm going to try to brighten up my eyes a little bit more, particularly in that inner corner area. So the cool thing with the liquid eyeshadows, as I said, is you can use your fingers to blend. So I just kind of take that little applicator, and if you keep it super saturated, if you do not blend it out, it's going to really stay in that really strong color. See, I even took it a little bit on that inner corner area, but as you blend it with your finger or with your brush, it is not as strong. So if you want it to stay strong, if you really, really want that saturated white or whatever color it is, you just kind of keep it a bit more saturated and less blending. But if you want it to be a little bit more diffused, you just blend that out. You can mix them with your regular pressed eyeshadows or mix them with other liquid shadows. You just can't go wrong. And as I said, I kind of keep it a bit more saturated on that tear duct, on that inner corner, as I'm trying to add light and bright and really kind of make it pop. Now, when you're adding a lighter eyeshadow like I just am right now, it may look a little funny until you add the other elements. So don't worry, don't worry. What I do like about this is it just kind of keeps my face and my eyes nice and bright. I do have some darkness and discoloration personally in that eye area, as I was talking about. So for me, adding a lot of brightness and light there, it just kind of makes me look more awake. Makes me look and feel a bit more youthful. And it is easy to add upon if I wanted to add a bit of color. So I think I've got a little bit more on that other eye, so I'll add a smidge. Super easy, friends. Super, super easy. I mean, literally you see me applying it with my fingers. I will tell you, they dry rather quickly, so work one eye at a time and make sure you've blended it out nice and properly before you move on to the next eye. The fact that it dries quickly is actually one of my favorite points because I have slightly hooded eyes, and if it was wet for too long and I opened my eyelids, it would just kind of like goop all over the place. And it doesn't goop, it doesn't crease. I can wear it all day long and it looks absolutely fabulous. So now that I've got my eyeshadow on, let me just fix this brow because it's looking a little crazy. Looking a little crazy. I am going to go on now and do my BB Flawless BB cream. Really, really great product. Super hydrating. You can use a minimal amount so that your freckles and your natural coloring can still shine through. You can do a couple layers of it so that way it's more of a medium coverage. And as I said, it does have a beautiful dewy finish, which I absolutely adore. It does not settle in fine lines, doesn't settle in pores. So if you are someone who has struggled with foundations, kind of making your skin look older than what it really is, this is something that I would recommend you try out. So what I'm actually going to do is take my Kabuki brush, which is this flat tipped brush right here. I'm actually mixing two shades as I'm in between shades right now. And I'm just going to kind of dot in the center of my face. So when you can use even your finger if you'd like, or you can just apply the product directly to your face. When you're using a foundation, apply the product first in the center and then blend out. When people go heavy-handed with foundation and they just put it all over their face, it's when you start to see like the mask look, where it's just way too much makeup. Remember to start slow and then build as needed. So I'm just going to take this Kabuki brush. It is my all-time favorite brush right now for the foundations of any kind. It just really has a beautiful way of dispersing the product all over your face, keeping it looking super natural. So when you use a brush or a blending bud, with this product, it will give you more of a medium coverage. When you use your fingers, it's going to be more of that light coverage. But you see how it's adding this nice hydrated kind of sheen to my face? That's what I mean when I say dewy. When I say dewy, it means it looks hydrated. So if you're someone who likes more of the matte powder look, you can either choose to use a different foundation altogether. You could go on top of the BB cream with some powder to really help kind of mattify that. You can use a setting powder. There's all sorts of options for you if you don't like the dewy look. I love the dewy look. I think it, as I said, makes my skin look very, very youthful, looks super duper healthy. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit extra, and that's going to help kind of combat more of those age spots, the unevenness in my skin. I do have some pink in my skin due to my Celtic heritage. Always take your foundation a little bit down your neck, a little bit onto your ears if you need to. And as you can see, I didn't go into that concealer area where I've already concealed. Trick with your under eye skin is it is very, very thin. So you want to have less layers of product, makeup, concealer, foundation underneath your eyes. The less the better because then it won't kind of crunch on up. I do have a few little age spots over here that don't make me feel super duper self-conscious. So I'm just going in with a little bit extra product there. But as I said, this is such an easy foundation. You can use your fingers. I know several people, they don't want to admit it, but they like put their makeup on in the car. You can put this on in the car. Not while you're driving. Ideally, you want to be a safe driver. But I mean, when you're parked in the parking lot, you can do it. All right, so we've got this product on. I definitely put way too much on my hands, so let me take a towel and wipe this on up. Told you, less is more. I should have listened to my own advice. And then make sure I've got this. And you can see it just kind of blends in with my skin, so it's not like hardcore, crazy thick makeup or anything going on my face. But it is rather dewy. You see that shine, you see that sheen. It does calm down a little bit, but if you prefer to have it be a bit more mattified, a bit more powdery, you can go on top just with your pressed powder or a setting powder. I like to just take a nice big fluffy brush if I'm just trying to kind of set it and make it, as I'm flying around the place, make it just a little bit more matte. You can just take a nice soft brush and just kind of pounce it on your skin, and then buff and swirl. And you're just going to see this beautiful, beautiful difference. This combo right here of the BB cream with a little bit of the pressed powder that matches your skin tone on top is such a gorgeous, natural looking combo. And I particularly like it because you can take the powder compact. It comes with a little sponge, and there's a mirror inside of it, and you can just kind of put that in your bag and do little touch-ups as needed throughout the day. If you do get a little sweaty, or if you got to blow your nose throughout the day and you might make a little mess right there, if you just want to check yourself, you can always just do a little touch-up with that powder. You actually also have the option to completely just use the powder by itself as a full coverage foundation. So these two are just a match made in heaven. And now you can see I really made it more of that powder matte look. So if you are someone who prefers to have more of that look, you can totally achieve it with this. It also is really long lasting. So now what I'm going to do is fix my brows. Brows for me, I'm not super big about filling them in all the time. I have natural brows, but I always like to make sure that I mention it because some people do need to fill in their brows every day. And for me, I'm just someone who, if I brush them through so that they're going in the right direction and doing what they're supposed to, I can also take a little bit of like a pomade, a brow pomade, and use that to keep them locked in so that I'm not having like these crazy looking eyebrows throughout the day. Just stay where you're supposed to be. Bada bing, bada boom. But if you do need to fill in your eyebrows, now would be the time that you could do it, of course. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer. This is the shade Malibu. This has a bit more of a pinkish pigment to it than some other bronzers do, and it can kind of double a little bit as a blush. It gives you a really deepened sun-kissed look. You can use it also to add a little bit of contouring to your face. Now bronzing is different than contouring. Contouring adds definition and angles to your face. It kind of slims your face down. Bronzing adds more of that sun-kissed glow, so it looks if you were outside in the sun. So for me, I've got a rather large forehead. You can fit 4 fingers there, so I like to add a little bit of bronzer kind of these high points of my forehead where the sun would naturally hit. I go across my hairline. If you have 4 fingers, going across your hairline is totally okay. If you only can fit 3 fingers for your forehead, you don't necessarily need to do that. You don't need to make your forehead look any smaller. And then I take a little bit here, squish that brush down, or use a thinner brush and just kind of add a little bit more definition on the sides of my nose. You can add a little bit underneath your bottom lip. That's going to make it look like there was a bit of a shadow. And also underneath your jaw right here, just to kind of slim things down a little bit. If you wanted even bigger of a sun-kissed glow, you could go across the tops of your cheeks and your nose like that, just to make it look like you went outside and you had a grand old day. I am going to go and add a little bit of blush. I thought I had my blush already. Sorry, friends. This is my favorite shade. It's called Sisterly, and it's a very natural flush, and it has a little bit of a luminizer in it. So if you are trying to lift your face, slim your face, or lift it, you're going to want to work more on this outside. If you drew an imaginary line down from the edge of your eye right there and bring that on up at the high point of your cheek, that's going to help give you a nice lifted look. If you want, you can try to bring it a little bit further and go up to underneath your pupil. There's all different ways to add blush. It's going to really, really change the way that your face shape looks. So for me at this point in my life and with my face, being the way that it is, I prefer to have it on this more high point to help give that more lifted look. Now you can see a little bit of that luminescence. It kind of catches the light right there. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing super glittery or anything like that, but it does add that nice glow, which I appreciate. Because it's summer and I'm trying to create kind of this faux sun-kissed look, I put a little bit on my nose and then a little bit up on the high portions of that forehead as well, as that is where the sun would hit me and would give me a little bit of that look. Can you tell that my hair is starting to dry? It's starting to come undone and get in my face, but goes with the whole summertime vibe look, right? Just totally natural, and I'm working for it. So what I'm going to do now is set this base makeup. You can set your makeup with setting spray or setting powder. I have both. Sometimes I do both if it's really, really long lasting, like if I'm going to a wedding. Otherwise, I can just take some setting spray. And yes, I just used that much, and believe it or not, this bottle lasts me a year. So you literally want to saturate your face. I've got a little piece of hair that is driving me bananas, so excuse me. Get away. It's like, no, I'm put on with setting spray. I'm doing my job. So I like to soak my face with setting spray. This acts like hairspray for your makeup. It's going to keep it on your face all day. One of my favorite things is actually to take a blending bud. Make sure it's damp. I did not, so I'm going to use a little extra setting spray to keep it nice and wet. And put a little setting spray. Don't go crazy like I just did. It's just that I wasn't prepared and I didn't wet my blending bud. So with it being wet with a little bit of setting spray, just take it and lightly pounce it. Do not push hardcore. Just lightly pounce. What you're doing is you are mushing this setting spray into your makeup, into whatever foundation you just put on, into that bronzer or blush. If you're someone who has fine lines or texture to your skin or pores, this is going to make a world of difference. This really melds it into your skin. I have some forehead lines. I've definitely got like those smile lines right here. So I focus with that setting spray and this damp blending bud there. I really focus with my fine line, crow's feet over here. And then my pores and kind of my nose area always kind of acts up. So if your foundation has not been sitting on your skin that nicely, if you see the unevenness with the texture, try this technique. Spray your face with a generous amount of setting spray. Get yourself a damp blending bud. Spray the bud of that with a little bit of setting spray itself, and then just go to town. And just keep dabbing until you really don't see the sheen from the wetness of the setting spray anymore. I'm telling you, I have got a hair. There it is. I see a little guy. There we go. Got it. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm shedding like a cat. It's crazy. Oh man. So yeah, just light pounce. You could tell I'm not like really hardcore pushing. It's just like a light pounce, but it's really pushing that setting spray into the skin. And I like to think of it as just really telling my makeup, stay put. Stay put, honey. I'm just making sure you stay put. It reminds me of when you have a really nice updo or you're just doing your hair and you're taking your hairspray and you like put it on your hair. You're really training it. You're really trying to make sure that those flyaways don't come up. That's essentially what I'm doing to my face. I'm just gently coaxing it with that setting spray saying, this is where you're going to be all day today and you're going to love it and you're not going to move from there. All right. So as you can see, I've gotten rid of that kind of wet look to my face. It's just going to continue to dry. Thank you very much, Blending Bud, for doing your job. Let's finish things up with my lips. So, fun thing that I've been using recently is my Hottie. Do I have it? No, I'm going to have to do something else. I was going to say my Hottie Lip Plumper, which I thought I did take out. Must be in my bag because I have been using it a lot. It's just this beautiful little lip plumper that helps the collagen, the natural collagen of your lips kind of be percolated, helps with the circulation in your lips, so it actually makes your natural lips look plumper. So fun fact, if you're trying to have your lips look bigger, which as we age, our lips kind of just get smaller naturally and we start to get those little lines. If you want your lips to look fuller and younger, you go for a gloss. So I've either been using my Hottie Lip Plumper or I've been using just one of my little lip glosses. This is the shade Lonesome. It is a beautiful light pink. Really easy doe foot applicator, nice, compact size so that I can just pop it in my bag if I want to reapply. But it's catching that light, so you see that glossiness to it, so that's what I'm talking about. Adding a gloss to your lips, no matter if it's a more dramatic shade or a more neutral shade, it's going to help your lips look bigger, fuller, and younger. Let's finish things up with a little bit of mascara. Mascara, of course, is my number one. It's my ride or die. If I decide, you know what, I'm not going to do any makeup on my face, I 100% will still make sure that I put on some mascara because it makes me feel like a bombshell. It really does. So I am using an eyelash curler. This is completely up to you. I will say my mascara wand, Curl Your Lashes, and the mascara product that I sell the ingredients have what's called flexible polymers, which mean it will keep your lashes nice and curled. If you want them to be a little bit more bodacious though, you can use the eyelash curler. I won't tell. I love to use lash primer. So lash primer is your daily deep conditioning treatment for your lashes. It's going to go on like a clear to white gel, separates your lashes, and then it is actually going to take whatever results you normally have from your favorite mascara and take them up a notch. It's going to really, really give you more definition, more separation, but also more volume and length. It also has incredibly hydrating and nourishing vitamins inside because you need to remember your little eyelashes, all they are is hair. So if you take good care of the hair on your head, you need to take good care of your lashes. If you're someone like me who loves the way that your eyes look with a little bit of mascara, make sure that you're nourishing those little lashes, okay? So I always put that on. And then I go back and forth, friends. I go back and forth between my Twisted Epic mascara. This one has the 2 wands. So we've got your normal awesome wand right there. And then the itty bitty baby wand. This one's great for like those little inner or outer quarter lashes, your lower lashes. It's awesome. But today I think I'm going to go big. I'm going to go for my 4D Dramatic Mascara. I am going to do my lower lashes first. I have been using my lash serum, which helps grow my lashes, and because of that, with my hooded eyes, like I said earlier in this video, I have hooded eyes. If I do my upper lashes first and then my lower lashes, sometimes I make a big old mess because I'm like looking down and then my other lashes are up. So if you are someone who often gets mascara on your eyelid, that would be one of the tips, is if you do use mascara on your lower lashes, to do your lower lashes first. And then another tip for you is to have a mirror that is held below your chin and look down. Reason being is now when I swipe up, I'm literally just swiping up to air. I'm not going to hit my eyelid. Whereas if I was looking straight on, in a bathroom mirror, or if I was looking in a mirror straight on this way, when I would swipe up, it'd be hitting that hooded eyelid. So hold a mirror down or place a mirror down. I just got this mirror here at like Bed Bath & Beyond probably a decade ago or something. But I love it because I can keep it right down here and put on that mascara. Look at this hair. Look at this wild hair. Stay away from my mascara. Stay away. My hair, as it gets crazy, and I've got, of course, my ceiling fan going on right now. Sometimes it does. It just wants to join in the mascara party. So I got to keep it out of the way. It's odd to have long hair again. So I have had short hair for, I say 3 years. I cut off all my hair to grow my natural silver hairs in. And so it's just been funny to now go through a summer with long hair again because I'm just not used to it. It's like having a hat on my head or a scarf. It's so hot having all of this hair. And of course I have dark hair, so it's just soaking in the heat from the sun even more so. I love it, but all of you who have short hair in the summer, you don't know how good it is. Oh my gosh. There have been a few times where I've been thinking maybe I should just cut it all off again because it is so hot. And I remind myself that this is part of the journey. I wanted to grow my hair out. So I will just do it. All right, so you can see I have not redunked my wand. I'm just kind of going over these little lashes, seeing how far this product can take me. So one of the great things, this product is so good that you don't need to keep redipping to get more on it. You have more than enough when you just take it straight out of the tube. You want to think about it like when you're painting your walls, you dip the paintbrush into the paint can and then you really see how far you can take it. You don't just go dip, paint. So when you're putting on my mascara, really just see how far you can make it go. Using all that's still on that wand, moving that wand around, it's going to grab onto those lashes, going to really give some beautiful, great definition. So that is kind of like my go-to Saturday weekend kind of face. What I love about it is it's going to last me all day. It's going to last me from now, early in the morning, through kids' swim lessons or piano lessons, through being outside in the backyard, doing dinner, everything. My face is going to look the same. I really took the time, of course, to prime. I have that great skincare throughout the day. My eyes are going to be taken care of underneath here because of the nourishment from the eye cream to the concealer. I made sure that I set my whole face really well with that setting spray, so it's just going to look awesome throughout the day. I am going to make sure that I take my pressed powder in my bag just in case I need a touch up here or there, as well as my lip gloss. When you wear something glossy, know that it can transfer. If you have a coffee, a cocktail, anything like that, when it's glossy, it can move. It can come on off if you're kissing your kids or something. So you do want to make sure that you can reapply if it's a glossy product. But aside from these two things, I'm going to look this way later tonight, which is pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this Minute with Mary video. I hope you have a great Saturday, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.